Lewis Hamilton will be driving for Ferrari in 2025. It's been reported by reputable sources and figures within the world of F1 that Lewis will be leaving Mercedes for Ferrari for the 2025 season. Lewis Hamilton, of course, is no stranger to controversial career moves, joining Mercedes from McLaren in 2013. At the moment, the whole situation is giving me flashbacks to the Oscar Piastri nonsense that occurred not so long ago with Alpine and McLaren. However, this time, with the amount of noise and the credit the story has, it seems more likely than not that this is indeed true. As of right now, we are waiting on confirmation from either Formula 1, Ferrari, Mercedes, or even Hamilton himself about the move. And it is believed that Toto will be briefing the factory before making a statement to the press. If we look at what's actually been reported, the key sources are the breaking article by motorsports.com, as well as the reporting done by Sky Sports F1, which have both been backed by reputable individuals within the space. Delving into that motorsport.com article, here's what's actually been claimed. The core announcement, of course, is that Lewis, the 7-time Formula 1 champion, currently with Mercedes-AMG, is reportedly on the verge of making a groundbreaking move to Ferrari. While it's not confirmed whether a final contract has been signed, the negotiations are believed to be in the advanced stages. Of course, Ferrari has shown interest in Hamilton for a while, and he's previously stated he wanted to stay with Mercedes, similar to Stirling Moss, believing it offered a better chance of success. However, following 2 challenging seasons for Mercedes, Ferrari seem to be winning Hamilton over. They also highlight contractual details. Of course, last year Hamilton signed what appeared to be a multi-year contract with Mercedes for 2024 and 2025. However, it's now emerging that that contract for the second year of 2025 may have been optional. This indicates that Hamilton may have an escape clause, allowing him to join Ferrari from 2025 if he so chooses to. Motorsport.com also highlight the implications for Mercedes. If Hamilton does move to Ferrari, it would be a significant loss for Mercedes. The team has gone through extensive negotiations to secure his services going forward, and Hamilton, on his part, had expressed faith in Mercedes overcoming its recent struggles, especially with its new car for the current campaign. It was even reported prior to Hamilton signing his current contract that Mercedes weren't even looking into other options, should Hamilton be leaving. Both Ferrari and Mercedes have both not commented on the situation. As for Mercedes, early indications suggest that their new W15 car was a step forward, and that the key figures such as Toto Wolff and James Allison had also extended their contracts with the team. Overall, the article and the news that is broken show a developing story about Hamilton's potential shift to Ferrari, a move that could significantly alter the dynamics of F1. But the situation remains fluid, and the official confirmations are still being awaited. Now, I still think it's a good idea to look into what this move may mean for Formula 1, no matter the outcome. To start, let's remind everyone why this news is so groundbreaking. Lewis Hamilton is one of the most successful drivers in Formula 1 history. His journey began with a bang. He won the World Drivers' Championship with McLaren, but it was his controversial move to Mercedes in 2013 that truly defined his career. With the Silver Arrows, Hamilton has won 6 more titles, playing a pivotal role in one of the sport's most dominant eras and dominant teams. His success isn't confined to the racetrack either. He's also become a global icon. He's ventured into fashion with partnerships like Tommy Hilfiger, and he's done all he can to grow his brand. He's the most influential driver as of today. And speaking of today, we still have a high-performing Hamilton. However, he is at a Mercedes team that's facing challenges. They dominated the 2014 season onwards. However, in recent times, they've begun to fall with the new regulations and the competition from Red Bull. This context sets the stage for the persistent rumours about Hamilton's potential move to Ferrari, a topic that's been part of Formula 1 conversations for years. These rumours have reignited recently, at moments such as the 2023 Monaco Grand Prix, where Hamilton was directly interviewed on the topic, and it didn't sound like he was overly positive for his future with Mercedes behind his PR-happy answer.
Discussions with the team in the background, and we're almost there. So
now onto Ferrari. Seb said it best.
Everybody's a Ferrari fan.
Even the Mercedes drivers. And I think that goes for Hamilton as well. Winning with Ferrari is different to winning. Ferrari has one of the most decorated histories of anyone in Formula 1, and they've been here from the beginning. Seb tried to win with Ferrari and failed. Schumacher etched his legacy into the sport with his time at this team. If Hamilton can join Ferrari and win a World Drivers' Championship or Constructors' Championship with the team, it would help cement him as the best of all time. Ferrari has a lot to gain from signing the likes of Hamilton as well. For one, he's an exceptional driver, and in recent times, the only fight we've had for the Drivers' Championship has been between him and a dominant Max Verstappen. Lewis, although a veteran in Formula 1 today, could be the level-headed, experienced driver that Ferrari needs to both win races and even help develop the younger drivers like Leclerc. It's a win-win, If Hamilton doesn't perform as well as expected and gets beaten by Leclerc, it solidifies Ferrari's golden boy as one of the best in the sport. And if Hamilton does perform and helps Ferrari back to the front of the grid, developing their car and performing above Leclerc, then they have the comeback story of a lifetime, a story which will never be forgotten. Hamilton winning in red. Of course, this all comes with commercial benefits due to his brand and more eyes on Ferrari, but there's definitely more to this story. This brings us to Hamilton's contract. In August 2023, Lewis Hamilton put pen to paper on a new Mercedes contract to keep him with the team through the 2025 season, with his teammate George Russell also retained for that same period. Now, contracts can be broken. However, the details of this contract were never public. Performance clauses for both drivers and teams are not uncommon in Formula 1. With Mercedes' pace difference to Red Bull and Hamilton's value in their negotiations, it's not unlikely to think that there may have been some clause for Hamilton to get out of Mercedes, or even just an option for him to leave in 2025 if he wasn't happy with how things are going. Either way, Mercedes' current performance may have triggered an escape clause for Hamilton. Now, moving on to the potential impact on Formula 1, we end up with a Mercedes without Hamilton, a Ferrari with arguably one of the best driver lineups on the grid, a spare seat at Mercedes, and Carlos Sainz without a seat. This move will also surely change the competitive landscape of the sport and the power levels between the teams. Now, a Mercedes without Hamilton still has a George Russell signed for 2025, but that opens up a seat that has been thoroughly discussed already. Last time Hamilton was up for grabs, everyone was contemplating what might happen if he did leave. The notable drivers are Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, even a Valtteri Bottas could come back into this seat. It's entirely unknown. Personally, it's important to remember that Mercedes also have a thriving junior program with the likes of Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Paul Aron, and Frederic Vesti all within that team. Personally, an Alonso or a Ricciardo holding the seat for the short term seems to make more sense for me. They could help support George Russell and develop him as a driver, and even just keep that seat warm for an Antonelli should he want to go to F1. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this down below, and like and subscribe. As much as Hamilton will be a loss for Mercedes and Toto, I feel this change is inevitable at some point. I hope Mercedes are prepared, but I do imagine Toto has a hidden folder in his desk with a Hamilton is gone protocol inside. In terms of other impacts, for Sainz, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. He has had his ups and downs in his career, but he's a driver who more than deserves his seat in the sport. With only 20 available, it could spell the end for one of these drivers. Whether it's Sainz, I think is highly unlikely. I think it's more likely that another team will snap him up and potentially lose a driver like Checo or Stroll, depending on what happens in 2024. Overall though, I really can't complain about what's been happening recently. I do love a bit of silly season drama, and this is the biggest story of them all. With Hamilton leaving Mercedes, it does open the door for many new F1 storylines and career opportunities to spice up the slightly boring norm of Red Bull and Max Verstappen dominating at the moment. Now, of course, I don't believe that will change, at least not for the 2024 or 2025 season, but we might have some more things to keep us entertained behind Max in P1. If you've enjoyed, subscribe and watch my video on what exactly has happened to Daniel Kvyat. It's truly a very unfortunate story.